Okay guys, we're going to get into the value grid paintings first, and what I did was set up my workspace in here. I've got one of the grids mapped out already. Over here I've sent out slides of building this in progress, 3 slides altogether, 3 images. Step 1, after I gridded out this, you want a 2-inch border in here. It's up in here, it explains that. So what I did was measured in 2 inches from the paper, drew a line across, measured in 2 inches from the other side of the paper, drew a line there, plotted out the rest of the box, and then divided it up into 2-inch squares. They don't have to be perfect, just close. So that's the first thing you do. Then you put the tape down, your white tape, down around all the borders so you can have a nice white border when you pull up the tape. I have painter's tape. Your kit has the white tape in it. It'll do the same thing. So when I get that set, now I'm ready to start painting. The first thing I've got is a water container to clean the brushes. I've got my brushes out, they come in the kit. A palette knife that came in the kit. A rag. And then the Mars Black from an old kit and titanium white. You guys are going to get a big tube of white, and I think you have the Galleria, Winsor Newton Galleria in your kit, so you'll be fine there with the black. So you've got this set up. Remember, we have 2 of these grids to do. We have one done with only brushes and one with palette knife. I'm going to start with the brushes on this one, and then on the second video, I'll be working the palette knife once I get the next grid set up. So, with that being said, the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to put out some black paint, and I'm not going to put out a lot because I'm not sure where this is going to go, and you only have so much paint for the semester, and you don't want to waste it all, right? So, it's alright to work a little bit at a time. Alright, so here comes the white as soon as I can get it unclogged. Oh, it's okay. So I'm going to put out some white. So this is the brush, right? We're going to be working with brushes. And what I want you to think about while you're working with the brushes is working thin to thick. And for this one, initially, for the first layer, initially light to dark. Well, let's just not worry about that right now. Let's just go thin to thick. So, I'm not going to worry about what I'm mixing up. I'm just going to wing it. I'm going to take some white. I'm going to go in there. I'm going to get some black. And I'm going to go in there and make a gray. Right? It doesn't need to be light. It doesn't need to be dark. It's just going to be a gray. And I'm going to make up some gray here. Make it as consistent as possible. Right? Oh, you guys, in your kit, you get a paper palette, right? A disposable paper palette, so you can mix up your paint on the paper palette. I like working off of glass. So, I've got the gray I want mixed up, or the gray. I've got a gray mixed up. I'm going to go in there, get my brush going, go in, attack it from a little bit from the side, and mix it around a little bit so the paint is more fluid, right? So I'm thinking about how the paint is going to flow off of my brush. All right, so it doesn't matter what square I go into. I'm going to go in here, and the first thing I'm going to do is go up to the edge, and I'm going to cut in this edge. And if you notice, my wrist of my right hand is sitting on the paper, right? So that helps stabilize what I'm doing. So I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to try to make the edges as sharp as possible. If the paint is not consistent across the surface, meaning it's all the same value, all the same texture, don't worry about that. We're going to go 2 layers on top of this, right? Your second layer is going to be a little bit thicker, right? And the point is not to match the value we put down, but it's to build up a surface that has more than 1 layer of paint on it. So I'm going to go in there and in here, right? I might have to change my attack in here. So what I'll do is I'll walk around the table. If you can't walk around the table, you can obviously move the painting so that you can hit that orientation and make this easier for yourself, right? Okay, so there's my first layer of that square. So I've got, it's 25 squares. I've got 24 more squares to go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get this clean and take this off. And then I'm going to just mess around here. I'm going to go like, okay, well, first of all, I'll get the old gunky up paint out of there. And I'm going to push it a little bit. In fact, this is all gunked up. So let's get that out of there. Let's get that out of there. Let's get some fresh paint. All right, there we go. That's less gunked up. All right. So now we're going to push another one. Lord. We're going to push this value a little darker, right? And once again, it doesn't matter where you go. We're just learning how to control the brush, right? So once again, you see how thin it is. I'm going to clean this brush off, right? I'm going to go in and attack it from this side. I'm going to be looking for that paint to flow consistently off the brush, right? So that's there. And then I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to go up in here and do the same thing. My wrist is back down on the surface of the paper. I'm going in, going across. If I need to attack from a different angle, I can easily do that by getting up and moving around, right? In here. There. And if you go over, you don't have to worry about it because you're going to be painting over it, right? So, but you do want to be as consistent as possible in the beginning. Learn how to control it. Take the time, learn how to control that. All right? So we're in there. Let's just go here. Oh, too much coffee this morning. All right, there we go. And I've got that. Now I got a couple values in here, right? I got two values in here. And what we notice right away is that these values sit in a different, they sit a little bit farther. The lighter one comes farther away from us, and the darker values seem to come closer, right? We'll be talking about that a lot more as the semester unfolds. All right, so what I'm going to do in here, and I'm going to just go in and grab some black. Right? And it's got a little bit of white in it, so it's not going to be as black as what it could be. But make it a little darker by going and working that over there. Alright, there we go. Alright. And I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to work this.